Hi guys, let's build this character from scratch. I'm using Toon Animate Pro 2. That's because once I'm done with this build, I want it to be available to as many people as possible. And I've done a test with Harmony and I couldn't bring it over on the Toon Animate Pro. So hopefully by me using Animate Pro to build this character here, more people will be able to access it. Now, so this is an empty scene. So first thing we're gonna do is go File, Import Images, and I'm gonna bring in the rough design that I made, and create layers. Create a single layer named Bell Rough. Okay. You don't want it to be vectorized because we just want it as reference. And for transparency, we'll just do straight. And there we go. And we're gonna extend that drawing all the way to the end of the scene. Huh. Yeah, it's a little bit different from later version of Harmony. Like when I select it, it doesn't. It goes like all inverted like this. So first thing, what you want to do is, when you're first building it, you kind of want to set a standard for how big your character's gonna be in like a default scene. So for example, if you want to create a different character later on, you want it all based on, you know, Bella's default height here, and then maybe another character could be that big or it could be this big. What you don't want to do is, like, whenever you create like a larger character, like kind of, you know, change your default size and draw it that way, because you will get into the issue of the line thickness not being same for every character. So whatever you choose to do, you want to stick by it as much as possible. Okay. So I think this is fairly good size. Let's go with this. So I'm gonna lock the drawing layer. Maybe I'll move it up a bit, center it maybe. Now let's create a scene palette. So when you first open up a file, it might look like this, your color tab here. And so all you have to do is click on this icon on the very far right, and it will separate that color tab into two areas. So at the top is your scene, and then the bottom is the color that is within that scene palettes. So we're gonna create a new palette called Bella _ day. This is just in case if I ever wanna like create a different palette. It's like Bella night, or, you know, depending on the day. Okay. So I guess we can just start with anything here. So I'm gonna double click that multi-wheel window. I don't have to, but I like to keep it open like this. Okay, let's start with her skin then. We'll name it skin. Done. Next. And eyedropper here. Call it skin trace. And so on. So I'll create that right now and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've gone and quickly created all the palette color I think I'll need for Bella here. So let's quickly look at skin trace, hair 1, 2, 3. She has 3 different hair colors here, and then hair trace, eye white, pupil, eye trace, lips, lip trace, teeth, inside mouth, tongue, her brow, and I guess for her brow trace I'll use the hair color too. Dress trace. Okay, yeah, let's make that a little bit clearer here. And I think that's all we need. For her shadow thing, we'll think about applying it later. Because so that's that. So let's start with, this is what I want to do. I want to quickly go through and explain why I designed this character this way. So I built this character to be easy to build and easy to animate. So first we have her simple body shape, just one single body shape here. And then I put her legs right underneath. So that way, when you're animating her walk, then you don't really necessarily have to worry about the connection, since all the legs are underneath her. If you're dealing with a character with actual legs, like this, it's actually fairly tough. Because whenever the character is like doing certain action, you might need to adjust this area pretty constantly. So there's a lot more work involved in posing those characters. And we have arm, simple arm that goes in front of her body, and another one that goes just behind. For this character, I didn't like include sleeves or anything. That also helps speed things up. An ear, which will go on top of the body like this. Eyes, nose, mouth, and eyebrows. And the hair, right? And her ear that goes behind the body too. And this hair, what I'll do is I'm gonna make it go behind the body, and this hair will come on top of the body. So it's very simple, like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's kind of, just sandwich in between the bodies here, and so on. So that's my general idea behind this design. I guess to compare, I'll show you my Katie build really quick. Okay, so we have Katie here. Jasmine on YouTube was asking about her build, so let's take a look why it makes her more difficult than Bella here. So like I mentioned, like she has proper like human-like legs. That's well, maybe I should say she's wearing pants, so her legs are not really hide behind anything, and they actually all have to connect back to her hips here. So if you notice, if I just raise her leg like this, I mean, apart from not being built perfectly, you always have to check to see if there's like the line will connect properly, right? And this is like her mid section that goes over the pants. So, and this is her hip. So there's a lot of parts rather than two legs to deal with here. Oh, and yeah, these two are separated, her leg and her foot. her hair, yeah, Jasmine was asking about the hair. It's very simple, sort of. So Katie's hair, this one's just going above the face and head, and the ear and the earrings are on top. But this one, like, I can move these all together by just selecting this guy, because if you take a look at the network, let's see, so let's see if I can, it's a bit of a mess right here. Yeah, let's look at it like this. Okay, so this is her bang, I named it, which is connected to one peg, and this is this black area here, hair under 2, which is also connected to that same peg. So if I select either one, this peg is gonna determine where they go, and all this is this area right here. So I can they have individual drawing and peg, and they also have a peg that groups all 3 of them together, and then going up the hierarchy, it connects to this whole thing. That's it. I'm still figuring out how to go about using her hair, because right now it's just kind of flat on top, but that's that. And also, like, she has neck, face, and a bunch of different parts that you know, it's easy to build, but for the sake of brevity, we'll work with the less amount of parts here. Okay, so for her hair, yeah, I'm gonna do this back and the front. Her body, I could handle the 2 ways. I could either just make this one drawing and have it include the dress pattern here, but I think what I'm gonna try is have this body shape to be all green, for example, like that, and then I'm gonna create another piece that looks like this, right? And then I'm gonna move it over and then cut it, so like I can move it within the body shape, and I think that might help with the drawing, making the drawing her body parts easier, since you won't have to draw that shape every time, draw the dress shape. So that's my thought behind it, and it's always good to analyze the design before you start, and you should probably think about it before you design it, but that might come after you had some experience with them. So let's get started. We'll start with the body. Let's see here. Network. Okay. This is our rough drawing. I'm just gonna make another composite. That's Alt H to make a composite. And another one. And going to layer properties here by hitting the yellow square, and we're gonna change to pass through. That's very important. I'll explain when we have her built in some almost. I'll explain it once we almost have her done building. Oh, brain fart. Okay, I'll explain it later. So you can see this pass through by the rhomboid, right? Shape here. So let's get to it. So for like a big shape like this, I usually do pencil. And let's say for this, our default will be 7 for thickness. Okay, so I'm gonna hit K to show strokes, and then we're gonna Alt Q, and we're gonna start manipulating with the what's this tool called? Contour editor. Sometimes the line's much smoother if you have less points, right? So you can just delete them if you feel like there's too many points making in the lines a bit wonky. I think this is okay. All right. I'm gonna convert it to brush line. Shift 7 and do the bottom one too. Yeah, I might just do that. Okay, I'm gonna go to my cutter tool, Alt T, and then just slash that off and fill it with the skin tone. One thing, Shift E to bring up layer property. I want this to be applied invid pivot on parent peg. So that if I change the pivot point on a drawing, if I apply the peg, then the pivot point will be there on the peg also. But we're not gonna apply pegs yet. On second thought, maybe I'll fill that later so we can just see through. We'll name her this body and we'll move on. Let's go to the eyes. So I already done the eye building tutorial. If you haven't seen it, please check it out. So I'm gonna take the ellipse tool. It's a little bit thick. So maybe 5. So I'm gonna maybe do this sort of style for her build. Right, just make an ellipse tool, make it into actually I have an easier way to do this. Let's keep it a pencil line, and let's just draw this like so. Oh jeez, look at the size of that eraser. You can quickly change the size of your tools by holding O and then just going side to side. I don't use that very often because when I draw, like, I want it to be like exact size, but for this might be alright. Yeah, let's keep it at that. We'll fill it with eye white. Okay, and we'll do the pupil too. Create a new drawing. Create a pupil. Now for her default pose, I don't want to be too squished, so let's keep it like this. Okay. Eye 1 and pupil 1. My naming scheme is this: whenever there's left and right side, so whenever the for example, this arm is in front and this one is the back, so whatever's in front I name it 1 and the other one 2. So this one's on this side, so it's 1, and this will be 2, so on. Ear 1, ear 2. Okay, next one, brow 1. Brow 1. And for this, we'll need hair trace. Okay, let's, and brow. Okay. And as you're drawing, it's good to apply the pivot as you're doing this, so you won't have to deal with it later. Okay, let's do the nose. There's only one nose, so we don't have to do 1 or 2. Skin trace for the nose. Hey, that's pretty good. Alright. I'm just gonna use the stroke tool and just fill that a little bit with skin color here. So when you're selecting it, you won't have to select that line, but you can just select this general nose area and it'll apply. Let's do the ear 1. I guess I could do that. Yeah, let's do that. Fill it with skin color, and maybe for this, maybe I'll do that. I'm gonna make that line with stroke. Oh, does that not work? Okay, I'm gonna convert this to brush. Shift 7. Okay, that works. No, let's delete that. Yeah, I'm just gonna erase it like so. Hang on, let's look at the design here. So in the design I made it so her ear is actually like her ears cleanly cut by the her body. Yeah, let's build it that way. It's a little bit involved, but it's not that hard. It's just I might need to explain a bit more, but it uses the cutter and the color override principle. So if you haven't watched those videos, oh gosh, please check that out. So for the ear, what we're gonna do, convert that to brush and do that. I'm gonna keep it at that. And the mouth, I'll build this off camera because I already explained it in the other video, and it does take some time. Let's move on to arm1. Arm1. Actually, you wouldn't want to build it this way necessarily. You might want to like build like a default pose, something like that, but yeah, what the hey, let's just let's go with it. I mean, if animators animating, they have to like repose everything anyways. So there we have arm with the hand 1. I am using Control and Alt together to do this. Very, very useful. Let's see. And okay. There are also several ways to build a hand too. Different studio will build a different way, especially if we're at a studio where they don't want you to draw much. They'll build it in several layers so that this hand will get cut beautifully along the arm. But from my experience, just keeping it simple. Oh man, that hand looks awful. Keeping it simple will be better if you plan to draw quite a bit, like different parts and all that. And in my experience, it did help me out quite a bit in learning the software and being fast at drawing and learning the design, also the style of the show. I don't know, well, let's just keep it like that for now. Pivot. So let's see. Leg 1. For Bella, I think I will keep the leg and foot. Oh, that's beautiful. Let's use that. Just one piece. Because in a style like this, I think it always works better if it's all one piece instead of like, you know, building it separately, like that piece and then like your foot piece. It can work, but in a simple style like this, I assume you want to be doing a lot of like really great poses and animation, so the simple less part means, you know, less that you have to draw to get the exact pose you want. Okay. Let's call this one dress. I'm gonna go into the strokes mode and go whoop, whoop. And maybe extend that a little bit more too. Yeah. Whoosh. Go down to dress. Let's fill it with that. Okay, I think we can fill in the body now. Body color. Oops. select the body, fill. Okay, we'll go to camera, current drawing on top. Yeah. So that's what we have so far. Let's do hair. We'll call this hair underscore back. Okay. And we'll do hair trace. Goes like this, and maybe a nice shape around like that. Okay. Sure. Hair. We'll put that behind later. Hair underscore front. Okay. Hair trace. Actually, we'll disable the body so we can see a little better here. All right. Okay. Hang on, pivot. And pivot here. And this guy's pivot maybe down here. And here. Did I say? Oh, okay, good. Save, save, save. Save often. Here we are. We have a bit of mess over here. Now. It's a bit of disclaimer. Once again, that's the way I build it, but it's not the most efficient. So I don't know the how the builders for the show they actually go about their business, but the end product will be the same. It's just the way I'm doing it might take a bit longer. Okay, so we have all this drawing here. It's quite a bit of mess. Let's turn the body back on. To disable it is D, and then to enable is A, and which is same as doing the check mark right here. Okay, so I'm just gonna select all this drawing and maybe hit one of these buttons, order network up, and just hit OK, and kind of does this thing, which is convenient. All right. I'm gonna copy and paste this composite here and kind of start to group things together. Let's start with the eye. Where's the eye? Here we are. Okay, eye. Eye, pupil. Pupil should be in front of the eye. Brow. Brow should be in front of the eye too, like this. Okay. I'm gonna copy and paste this composite. You don't have to make this many composite, but it's always convenient, and maybe if you're dealing with Cutter, it's actually very useful too, and I like to keep it organized. So next level will be kind of like a face. So nose should be in front of the eyes too, and maybe ear also, ear one. Okay, hand, arm, yeah, let's create another composite for the hand and arm. Hand should be in front of the arm, like so. Okay, so we have body here. Hair back. We'll put it at the very to the right, so it will be behind the body, and you can see that right here. Hair front should be in front of everything. Dress. Okay, let's start applying colors. Module library here. Color. And color override. Oh, I think I also want yeah, matte resize. Here we go. Yep, matte resize. Man, Animate Pro Tool has significantly less amount of modules than Harmony 10. But I think those are mostly like particle effects and all that stuff that no one really uses. I'm sure there's a use for it if you're actually learn to study. But I think for the most part, everyone just uses like After Effects and all that. Yeah, so I won't explain too much about the eye because I already did in the other video, so please check that out. Kyu-bum. There we go. I can't freely move this yet because I haven't applied the pegs. The one thing I'll do differently for this eye building than what I showed in the video, the previous video, near the end of that video I explained there's two different ways to build an eye, but what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna use the combination of the two. So I'm gonna have the eye black to be show on the top, and well, yeah, I'll use the combination so that animator can wish to do any kind of line work, like a pencil line or brush line, and it should display correctly. Okay, I think, yeah. Body, dress. Okay, legs. Create another composite for legs, and it will go behind the body. Hair back here, so does this make sense? I was a little bit too quick, but whatever you connect to on the left will show up on the top, and on the right will show up in the back. And I don't know, like it's quite simple visually, like if you look at it. Like hair front is in the very front, so it'll overlap everything. And so on. So we generally created all the assets we're gonna need. So I'll stop this video here, and on the next video I'll show I'm gonna duplicate all the eyes, ears, cut the ear properly, and cut the dress properly, so whenever this pink dress pattern overlaps the line here, and that will effectively change that line color too. I haven't done that in a while, so maybe I'll do some tests. Yeah, so, and I'll build that mouth off camera. Please leave any comments and questions, especially I know this might not be easy thing to understand at first. So yeah, see you at part 2.